I'm going to demonstrate how to construct a parallel line. This is another valuable construction that I'm going to teach you, that you're going to learn and practice, that you could use later in construction challenges to create other figures. But I'm going to use the relationship you probably just learned called parallel lines cut by a transversal to create a second line that's parallel to this one. So I'm going to need a transversal, which means I basically just need a line that goes through it. It's going to intersect it, so non-parallel line. Parallel lines don't intersect. So this line's being cut or divided by a transverse, not exactly in two. I know how to do that now, if you watched the video or did the lesson 3-9 in applied geometry curriculum. So I'm going to use what I know about angle relationships for constructing a parallel line. One thing I need to do is kind of designate a point where my next line will be, the one that I'm going to create parallel, so I'll make a mark right there. And I'm going to use angle relationships and what I know about parallel lines. So I'm going to construct, I'm just going to mark this angle here. You could pick any angle of the four here. This one's the most accessible, so I'm going to mark it with an arc. Then I'm going to come down here to my point where my new line is going to cross, and I'm going to make another arc a little bit more extended than that one. Now I'm going to measure this arc using the compass. So draw it in till I'm about right on the end, kind of make a mark to see when I'm there. I think I'm about there. So you can see where the point's at. Now I'm going to follow this line down and put it on basically the same corresponding point in my new arc, and I'm going to make a new intersection. So I've measured the length of that arc using my compass. I marked it here. Now I have 2 points, the one I pre-designated and the second one that I constructed. So I line my straight edge to cross those 2 points to all the line, and you can see that I've now created a parallel line. Now if we had to create parallel lines that were a certain distance apart, that adds a little different dimension to this construction. You may encounter that later, but basically you have the foundational approach to constructing a parallel line from a given line. Again, I could have used any of the four angles in this relationship. If I'd have used this one, then I would have been reconstructing this angle, this one, this angle. You get the idea. It's pretty straightforward and a fairly easy construction to follow.